Okay, so let's start. Okay, so we will now continue with our discussion on the modes of discovery. If you remember, Rule 23 and 24 talks about depositions. No, depositions are statements or those statements that you take out of court that is conducted by a deposition officer. It is usually for purposes of those indicated under Section 4 of Rule 23, such as to impeach a witness or substitute sa kanyang testimony in case lang mamatay siya, magkasakit siya, or he goes out of the country. And sometimes even depositions can have practical uses, such as what happened in the case of Mary Jane Veloso, where her testimony cannot be produced in the Philippine courts, and therefore we take her testimony out of court. So how? Via depositions. So, sorry if what is your political alignment, but this is an interesting question, no? If the former President Duterte would be required to testify in a case in the Philippines, di ba? Maybe we can apply the Mary Jane Veloso case to get the former president's testimony while he is still detained in Hague. Kuha? So we can apply that case by analogy. Now let's go now to, and Rule 25, if you remember, are interrogatories to parties. Doon naman sa Rule 25, it is a interrogatory that is directly sent to the party which kailangan niyang sagutin within a period of 15 days. Anong effect? If hindi mo ginawa yung interrogatories to parties, you cannot compel the adverse party to testify for you in open court. Now, let's go to Rule 26. Rule 26 is similar to Rule 25 because you are also asking your opponent to answer something. But in Rule 25, you're asking about the what, where, who, why, when, and how, diba? So you ask about material and relevant facts as long as they are not privileged. So you ask your opponent, where were you on December 4? Who was with you? And why were you there? But how about Rule 26? In Rule 26, what you are asking is not details, but you're asking for admission. No? Is it true? Do you admit that you signed this deed of sale? Do you admit that you did not pay the loan? So your answer in the Rule 26 is yes or admitted, no, or denied. So yun lang ang sagot mo. So ang Rule 25 is you're really asking about inquiries, interrogation. Interrogation, di ba? Pero sa Rule 26, you're asking your opponent to admit, no? Do you admit that the deed of sale on December 5, 2020 is genuine? So ang sasagot lang ng kalaban is, I admit or I deny because. Okay? So, Section 1, request for admission. At any time after issues have been joined. Okay. Issues have been joined. When are issues joined? Okay. Issues have been joined when the defendant has already served or filed his answer. So, let's go back a little. Let me discuss to you a little on evidence. When do we have an issue? Kailan ba tayo nagkakaroon ng issue? No, gilibak ba ta? No? In pleadings, issue exists when a fact is disputed. X said that he paid, but Y answered not paid. Is the allegation of X disputed by Y? Yes. And since a fact is disputed, then we have an issue. Okay? And this is a question of fact. Okay. Whether or not, let's say the government says that ICC warrant can be enforced in the Philippines, but the affected person says no. ICC warrant enforcement in the Philippines. Is the allegation disputed? Yes. And if it is disputed, then it gives rise to an issue. And this is an example of a question of law. Kuha? So, if you ask yourself, when then are issues joined? When do we have a joinder of issues? Sa ibang salita pa, kailan tayo nagkakaroon ng issue? Issue arrives when there is a dispute, and it usually arrives when the defendant files an answer. Okay? Kasi sasagot siya. So kung sumagot siya, ibig sabihin, may mga bagay doon na hindi siya agree sa sinabi mo. Kuha? So, question then is, when can you file a request for admission? At any time after the issues have been joined. So, ibig sabihin, kung meron ng answer ang defendant. A party may file and serve upon any other party. So, take note, party to party. Not directly to a witness, ha? Party to party. A written request for the admission by the latter of the genuineness of any material and relevant document described in and exhibited with the request, or the truth of any material and relevant matter of fact set forth in the request. Copies of the documents shall be delivered with the request unless copies have already been furnished. So anong ipa-file natin? Request for admission. When can you file it? At any time the issues have been joined. This is when an answer has been filed. Okay? And how do you serve a request for admission? You serve it directly to the party. Now, remember, under Rule 13, kay sino natin i-serve if may lawyer ang client? Di ba we serve it to the counsel. Service to the counsel is service to the client, not the other way around. Exception is Rule 26. Sa Rule 26, service must be made directly to the party, even if that party is represented by counsel. Why is that so? In the case of Lanyada versus Court of Appeals, in that case, the Supreme Court has clarified. Rule 26 is very different because you are asking the party to admit something. And therefore, if you're asking a party to admit something, it's a matter within the knowledge of the party, which is not necessarily shared by his lawyer. Therefore, if you're going to serve a request for admission, you must serve it directly to the party as an exception under Rule 13. Kuha ba? Okay. So, attorney, kung nag-file na ng answer yung kalaban ko, ano yung pwede ko i-ask sa kanya? Okay, so let's have a comparison. Let's say sa complaint, first paragraph, X is the plaintiff, Y is the defendant. Second paragraph, Y obtained loan as shown in a contract of loan. 3, Y paid only 1/3. Y received demand letter, pero hindi nagbayad. Okay? So, sumagot si defendant. Sabi niya, 1 is admitted. I admit number 1 because ako man talaga si Y. Number 2, I deny paragraph 2 of the complaint because I was not in the Philippines at the time of the loan. Okay? Third, I deny paying because I do not recognize the loan. O, di ba? So, I do not admit na bumayad ako kasi wala mang loan. Any payment is just a gift. O, ganon. Gift lang daw yung binigay niya na pera. And number 4, naka-receive ng demand letter, deny ka din. Deny receiving a demand letter since it was received by his ex boyfriend. Oh. Diba? Kasi ex-boyfriend, hindi naman siya isa sa mga pwede tumanggap ng demand letter. So do we have an issue? Of course, yes, because maraming deny. Kasi class, kung inadmit niya lahat, do we have an issue? No more. There's no need to proceed to trial if ganun. So since we have an issue, anong pwede mo gawin? After the defendant has answered, I can actually abuse Rule 26. Anong gagawin mo? You make a request for admission. What can you ask? Ask admission. Your admission would be, ikaw bahala. Do you admit that you needed money for medical bills on, let's say, date ng contract? Diba? Oh. So you're trying to ask him to admit matter. So ikaw bahala, defendant, if sagutin mo or hindi. But you could also ask in this way. Do you admit to the genuineness? Now you're asking if genuine and due execution of the acknowledgement receipt that I made recognizing your partial payment. Pwede pala yan, attorney, na tanungin mo siya ng tanungin ng mga bagay-bagay? Yes. And it's actually helpful kasi pagdating natin sa trial or pre-trial, konti na lang yung mga i-discuss, di ba? So what can you ask for admission? Number one, you ask whether or not he admits the genuineness of any document described and exhibited in the request, like this one. Do you admit na yung naka-attach na resibo dito sa aking request for admission is true? Ayan. Or kahit hindi document or anything that is material and relevant as stated in the request. Okay? Ayan, meron pala ko dito. The defendant hereby requests the plaintiff. Dito ang plaintiff na ipapa-admit niya. Number 11, the genuineness and due execution of transfer certificate title number 14344 attached herein as Annex P. Do you also want to admit or deny the fact that the TCT was placed in the vault of the plaintiff from January 1, 2025 until March 1, 2025? So, ano gagawin ng kabila? Either i-admit niya or i-deny niya. So, attorney, anong kaibahan yan sa Rule 25 and ng Rule 26? So, when we say Rule 25, you are asking about the details. What, when, where, how, why, when, who, yun. Pero sa Rule 26, you're not asking details. You're asking the opponent to admit. Okay? Do you admit that the resibo is true? Do you admit that the birth certificate is true? Do you admit that you were in the coffee shop last March 2025? Those are the nature of the questions. Now, in Rule 25, when do you file interrogatories to parties? Now, let me check. Ayan. So, sa Rule 25, there is no strict period when to file. You can file it even if there is yet no answer. Rule 25 is even by ex parte motion. But Rule 26 requires that there must already be an answer. No? The issues have been joined. Okay? When do you object to the interrogatories to parties? 10 days. Dito naman, 15 days yung objection. Then pwede mag-extend or mag-shorten sa Rule 25. Rule 25 can be extended and shortened, but Rule 26 can be extended but not shorted. Okay. Now, attorney, nakatanggap ang client ko ng request for admission under Rule 26. Is this really important na sagutin ko? The answer is yes. There are serious consequences if you ignore a request for admission. Section 2 says implied admission. Each of the matters which an admission is requested shall be deemed admitted unless within a period designated in the request, not less than 15 days from service, or within the time allowed by the court on motion, the party whom the request is directed files and serve upon the party requesting the admission a sworn statement. Hindi pwede na walang notarization kasi dapat sworn yung sagot. Either denying specifically the matters of which an admission is requested or setting forth in detail the reasons why he or she cannot truthfully either admit or deny those matters. If you want to object to the request, you also have to file it before the period of filing. So, ibig sabihin, within the 15-day and deferred ang pagsagot until ma-resolve ang objection. Let's simplify. So, balikan natin ha. Complain, then answer. Pag meron ng answer, we can now say that the issues are joined. And this is the time when you can file your request for admission. Okay? How do you serve the request for admission? Remember, it is directly. Directly ha, wag sa lawyer. Directly, pwede sa lawyer, salihin mo, pero dapat yung party directly. And if natanggap na ng party, hingian mo ng admission, the requested party has how many days? 15 calendar days to file what? A sworn, hindi pwede kahit ano lang ha, it should be a sworn statement. Sworn statement either admitting or denying the contents of the request. But if you want to object, you can object. When do you object the request? Within the same calendar days and until it is resolved. The period to file is deferred. Okay? Similar to Rule 25. Okay. Let's go to the case of Allied Agribusiness versus Court of Appeal. Sino ganing assigned? Si?
Ako, attorney. Good evening.
O?
Fuerte, attorney.
Si Puerte. Okay, ito yung manok-manok, no?
Yeah, attorney, duck
Sorry.
hatching eggs and ducklings, attorney.
Okay, so let's go first to the parties in this case. Sino ang nag-file ng complaint?
Cherry Valley Farms Limited, attorney, or Cherry Valley.
Okay, so it's Cherry Valley. Cherry Valley filed a complaint against
Allied Agribusiness Development.
Allied Agribusiness Development. Ano po daw ang ni-request ng Allied Agri from Cherry Valley?
Yung attorney, requested sa can you repeat the question, attorney? Hello? Hello?
Anong order nila?
They ordered duck hatching eggs and ducklings, attorney. Total 51,245 pound.
So, how many orders? 10 orders, no? Of Duck
Oh, duck hatching
hatching
eggs and
eggs.
ducklings.
Where is Cherry Valley based?
Lincoln, England, attorney.
Ano mo palit kang itlog dito, no? Anyway, I don't know what's the reason why you have to buy pato. Imported siguro na pato, baka merong mahilig ng imported. Anyway, how much was it?
51,245 and 12 pound.
Pounds. Okay. So, bumayad ba si Allied Agri?
Wala, attorney.
But na-receive anyway. Yeah. Now, sumagot na ba si Allied Agri sa complaint?
Ah, yes, attorney, they replied, attorney.
No
Uh,
reply. Answer. Did they
they
file an
answered,
answer?
they answered, attorney.
Okay. So, at the time nag-file ng answer, the issues are joined. Then, you can file a request for admission. Nag-file ba ng request for admission ng Agri? Ay, ang Cherry Valley?
Yes, attorney.
Okay.
19 July 1988, they served on Allied's Council a request for admission, uh,
What
worded
were
as
the
follows.
requests to be admitted?
Number one, attorney, is that the chairman of the board of directors and president of your corporation is Mr. Ricardo B. Quintos. Number two is that out of the 3 million subscribed share of stock, 1,496,000 shares is owned by Mr. Ricardo Quintos, and 1,432 shares is also owned by his wife, Agnes De La Torre. And number three, that for a period of 6 months, starting from 1 September 1982, your corporation ordered and received from Cherry Valley duck eggs and ducklings with a total value of 51,245 and 12 pounds as reflected on Cherry Valley invoices issued to you. Number four is that you receive a letter dated 22 March 1985 from Mr. PRC
Sir,
Braithwaite.
number three is asking Allied Agri to admit what?
For the period of 6 months, attorney, starting from 1 September 1982, your corporation ordered and received from Cherry Valley duck eggs and ducklings with a total value of 51,245 and 12 pounds as reflected on Cherry Valley invoices issued to you.
No? So, nakakatakot yung admission. Do you admit na sa loob ng 6 months, nag-order ka sa amin ng mga pato and eggs for this amount? Next. Anong next na request?
That you receive a letter dated 22 March 1985 from Mr. PRC Braithwaite, solicitor of Cherry Valley, demanding settlement of your unpaid accounts of 52,245 and 12 pounds for the
Yeah, so
above
for short,
stated purpose.
do you also admit or deny na nakatanggap ka ng demand letter? Next.
That instead of paying your obligation to Cherry Valley, Mr. Ricardo Quintos, in his capacity as president of your corporation, sent a letter to Cherry Valley dated 17 July 1985 proposing the setting up of a new corporation with Cherry Valley refusing acceptance of your proposal.
Okay. So, kasi if you look at the facts of this case, sabi ng agribusiness, yung mga utang namin sa inyo, gawin na lang natin shares of stock sa aming bagong corporation. Tapos sabi ng Cherry Valley, hindi daw nila tanggapin. So do you admit na alam nila yon or nalaman nyo yon? Next.
That you receive a letter dated 26 September 1985 from Mr. J. Cross, Director and Secretary of Cherry Valley, refusing acceptance of your proposal.
Okay. Number 7.
That Mr. Ricardo Quintos is in a letter dated 8 October 1985 admitted your indebtedness in the sum of English sterling pounds 51,245 pounds, attorney.
Okay, so do you also admit na yung mismo yung president ng corporation nyo nag-recognize na may utang kayo sa amin? And so,
And
did they answer the request for admission?
they filed a comment and objection, attorney.
And
But in the last part of their request for admission, attorney, it stated also na it is further requested that said sworn admission to be made within 10 days from receipt of this request. But the allied, they filed a comment objections alleging
so
following.
nag-object yung allied sa mga laman ng question. Pero
Yes,
sabi
attorney.
ng court, 'di ba? Okay na 'yan, sagutin niyo na lang. Sumagot ba ang allied agree?
No, attorney, they failed to answer, attorney,
And what
after
is the effect, Danny, if you do not answer a request for admission?
it's deemed admitted, attorney.
Oh, anong mangyari sa kaso mo, class, if admitted na may utang ka, I also admit na nabumili kami, I also admit na may utang yung corporation, sabi ng president namin, I also admit na naka-receive kami ng demand letter, o anong mangyari, di ba? Patay yung kaso nyo. And the Supreme Court told us that there are four acts that you can do once you receive a request for admission, correct? What are the four things that you do if you receive a request for admission?
That
Okay, what a party served may do what?
may he may admit each of the matters of which an admission is requested, in which case he need not file an answer.
Okay,
B,
kasi kung gusto mong i-admit lahat, huwag ka nang sumagot, di ba?
yes,
Sa
attorney.
request. Or, number two,
He may admit the truth of the matters of which admission is requested by serving upon the party requesting a written admission of such matters within the period stated in the request, which must not be less than 10 days after service or with such further time as the court may allow on motion and notice.
so, pwede ka mag-admit by not answering at all, or if gusto mong maging mabait, you admit by sending a written admission. Pero what if gusto mong mag-deny? How do you deny a request for admission?
He may file a sworn statement denying specifically the matter of which in an admission is requested, or he may file a sworn statement setting forth in detail the reasons why he cannot truthfully either admit or deny the matters of which an admission is requested.
Okay, so kung makatanggap kayo on behalf, or kung yung client nyo nakatanggap ng request for admission, you have four options. You admit by not answering at all. Eh, di, para ka na nag-surrender niyan. Number two, you file a written admission. Ikaw, mabait ka. Or number three, you deny. Because you know na hindi yan totoo. Let's say, hindi totoo na may demand letter, you put it on a sworn statement. And when we say sworn, ibig sabihin there is a verification. There must be a verification. Hindi pwede na kahit ano lang na papel. Dapat merong verification. Or, pwede ka pa rin mag-deny saying na I do not have sufficient knowledge to say kung totoo yan or hindi. But that is denied. So, sir, what then is the consequence here if agribusiness failed to answer the request for admission of Cherry Valley?
All the allegations of the
All the requests for
all the
admission.
requests are deemed admitted, attorney.
So kung deemed admitted ito lahat, sir, is there a reason to go to trial?
No more, attorney.
No more. And what is the motion that they filed to have a judgment already?
They filed a motion for
Motion for summary judgment. Why? Nagpara-summary judgment na yan sila under Rule 35 because class, if you were the judge and the opponent already admitted everything because hindi siya sumagot sa Rule 26, is there a reason to proceed to trial? Is there
No.
anything to be tried? Kasi so, inadmit lahat ng kalaban mo? No. And the judge rendered a decision by summary judgment because there is, with the admission of agribusinesser, is there still an issue left to be resolved?
No more, attorney.
Wala na issue. Kaya man
Yes.
kanitubag sa Rule 26. Okay? No? Actually, I tried this sa kalaban ko sa Davao Court, no? Very issue na civil case. Nag-try lang ako, send ng request for admission. I was hoping na hindi niya alam ang Rule 26. Kasi di ba kung hindi niya sagutin yung Rule 26 ko, admitted lahat ng sinabi ko, tapos na yung kaso. Eh, magaling pala, nag-aral din ng civil procedure yung kalaban ko, ay sinagot din niya, sayang. Pero dito, yung Rule 26 ng agribusiness, nag-object sila, pero hindi din sila sumagot nung pinasagot sila, edi patay yung kaso nila, hindi na nag-proceed sa trial because there's nothing to try anymore, there is no more issues because there is already an implied admission. Kuha ba? That is the danger of Rule 26. Okay. Now let's go to the case of Duque versus you. Okay, balik tayo ha. As a general rule, if there's a request for admission, if you did not answer by a sworn statement, everything is deemed admitted. But how about in the case of Duque versus you? Sino ang assigned?
Hi, attorney. Ako po. Good evening, Manatad.
Okay, Manatad. Okay, so what did the spouses Duque own?
They were the lawful owner of a 7,000 square meter lot in Lambog, Badian, Cebu.
Okay, and what document was allegedly executed in favor of Delia?
In the spouses Duque alleged that there was an executed deed of donation over the subject matter in favor of their daughter,
Sino si daughter nila si?
si Delia.
Okay, so how large is the property gani?
7,000 square meter.
Laki na yan ha, that is almost an hectare.
Mhm.
Okay, then gidonation daw kuno sa anak nila ni si Delia. Then anong daw ginawa ni Delia sa lupa?
Delia sold a portion of the property for 45 square meters.
Yeah, 2,745 square
Ay,
meters.
sorry. Yes, 2,745 square meters.
To
Um, they were sold to spouses U, Bartolome and Juliet.
So, gibenta niya to spouses you, yung
Mm-hmm.
portion. Hence the title, Duque versus you. Now, what was the complaint filed by the spouses Duque?
The spouses Duque, they lodged a verified complaint for declaration of non-existence and nullity of a deed of donation and deed of absolute sale and cancellation of tax declaration.
So, basically, gusto nila ipawalang bisa ang donation,
Mhm.
ang sale, at yung may horas na siguro gitry na ng lipat ng spouses yun yung lupa sa kanila. What is the main reason why gusto ipawalang bisa ng spouses Duque yung deed of donation?
Deed of donation because they allege that the signature in the deed of donation was actually forged.
Mhm. Actually forged. Now, aside from the spouses you, sino pang finailan ng spouses Duque?
They also filed a case to their daughter,
Okay, pati
Delia
yung anak
Capacho.
nila, kalaban nila. Okay.
Mhm.
Now, what did Delia say about the signature? Did she deny that the deed of sale was forged?
She acknowledged that the signature was forged. However, um, she denied na it was her.
Okay, she denied.
She did not know who the author daw, attorney.
So ano siya, bitaw, fake bitang perma, pero dili ko sure kinsay nag-take ana. Correct. Anyway, um, now, did the spouses you file an answer?
Spouses you, yes, for their part, they refuted the spouses Duque's personality to question the genuineness of the deed of absolute sale, since it was their daughter daw who forged the deed of donation.
Okay. Now, since there is an answer already, pwede na tayo mag-rule 26. Now, interestingly, sino ang nagpa-request for admission? Is it you or the Duques?
It was spouses you who
Okay.
requested for admission.
Yung defendant ang nagpa-admit sa plaintiff. Ano
Yes.
yung gusto niya ipa-admit sa plaintiff?
They requested the admission of 7 documents. The first was the real estate mortgage. Second is the deed of donation. Third is the contract of lease. And then the tax declaration number 07-05616. Another tax declaration number 14002-A. And then the deed of absolute sale. And lastly, the tax declaration number 01-07-05-886.
So basically, ma'am, you are saying, ganito ha, paminawa class, ang mga duke, gusto nila ipawalang bisa ang donasyon, ang pagbaligya silang anak, o katong tax declaration na gibuhat nila sa yuta. Una karon ang kalaban nila nag-ingon na, do you want to admit the deed of donation? Katawa siya siya yung nagbasa sa full text. Do you admit the deed of donation? Do you admit the sale? Diba? So, ha? Ganun ipa-admit ni mula sa ako diba? But anyway, yun naman yung sabi na Rule 26, diba? Pwede ka magpa-admit. Were they able to answer the request for admission?
The spouses Duque failed to comment, attorney, when they were directed to comment on the
So anong
admission.
effect nga? So anong effect under Rule 26 as a general rule? Anong effect?
As a general rule, since spouses Duque failed to comment, they were deemed to have admitted the same.
Oh, di ba? So, kung hindi ka sumagot, ibig sabihin, you admit na genuine yung deed of sale, na genuine yung sale, genuine yung deed of donation. And they move for a demurrer, correct? Demurrer,
Yes,
which was granted, and the case was dismissed.
dismiss.
So, question, was it proper to apply the implied admission rule in this case?
Based on the Supreme Court's ruling, attorney, it was not correct to apply the implied rule in this case.
Why so?
Because it's part of the exception of Rule 26 that if the matters in a request for admission have already been admitted or denied in previous pleadings by the requested party, the latter cannot be compelled to admit or deny them anew. In turn, the requesting party cannot reasonably expect a response to the request and thereafter assume or even demand the application of the implied admission rule in Section 2, Rule 6.
Because it would be a redundancy. Di ba?
Yes.
The entire point of Rule 26 is to get an admission over something that has not yet been denied or admitted. No? Parang ganito. Mr. Rocky, mahilig ka ba sa okra?
Yes, attorney.
Yes. So, nag-answer na siya, right? O, walang issue doon. O, Mr. Rocky, mahilig ka ba ng peanut butter na nakamix sa mayonnaise?
Hindi po, attorney.
So there's an issue because he is saying that he does not like it. Can I say later on, request for admission, would Mr. Rocky deny or admit that he likes peanut butter with mayonnaise?
No.
It's redundant, di ba? It has already been denied in the answer. So asking it again would be what? Redundant and unnecessary. And therefore, we cannot apply Rule 26, Section 2. So question in this case, is the spouses Duque deemed to have admitted the deed of donation, deed of sale, for their failure to answer the request of the spouses you?
No, attorney.
Because
Because the documents that the spouses you um tried to admit, those were exactly the documents that the spouses you kumbaga yun yung ugat ng complaint, the essence of the complaint.
so that's the very reason. So that is already deemed denied in the first place. And ang court, loka ka ba? Bakit ka nagpapa-admit? That's the first reason why they filed the case because they are saying that the deed of sale is, the deed of donation is forged. So you cannot ask them to admit or deny because they are already denying it by the fact that they are filing a complaint to question it. Gets ba? Okay, so daghang salamat, Ma'am Manatad. So let's go now to the other concepts. Now, as a general rule, failure to file a sworn statement answering a request for admission would mean what? Admission of the matters, except if they were already denied in previous pleadings. Kuha ba? Okay, now question, kay sino mo ba i-serve ang request for admission? As I said, directly to the party as required under Rule 26, Section 1, and as discussed in the case of Lanyada versus Court of Appeals, which I discussed already earlier. Now, how about in the case of Manzano versus Dispabiladeras? Sino assigned here?
Giving Attorney Claros, attorney.
It's Claros. Okay. Sino ang nangutang at sino ang inutangan?
Ang nagpautang po attorney si Roger Manzano at ang nangutang is si Luz Despabiladeras.
Okay, let's just say she's Luz. Kay lisod yung apelido, no? Si Roger ang giutangan, si Luz ang nangutang. For how much?
The
what
amount
were?
that okay. For the amount of 307 attorney, 307,140 and 50 cents for the centavos for the construction materials.
Binayaran niya ba lahat?
No attorney, she only paid the amount of 130,000
That's why
For
nag-file ng
Manzano.
complaint si Roger for sum of
of money
money.
and
Now,
damages.
sumagot ba si Luz?
Yes, no attorney. When during the pretrial attorney,
No. Did she file an answer?
no attorney.
Nag-file siya ng answer, right? She filed an answer saying that OA daw yung pagpresyo.
Yeah,
Oh.
attorney. Yes, attorney. With
And-
counterclaim.
Okay, so nag-answer. Now, during the pre-trial, they agree na mag-stipulate. When we say stipulate, magsabot sila unsa tong mga gipamalit, di ba? They wanted to agree. During the pre-trial, they wanted to specify ano yung mga pinamili, no? Now, did Roger gave a list of what is wait, let me clarify. Medyo technically vague ang nahitabo.
Yes, attorney.
Answer. So mag-pre-trial. During the pre-trial, if you remember, di ba during pre-trial, isettle na to kung mga issue sa kaso? So,
Yes, attorney.
they agreed that, Your Honor, baka pwede muna namin ilista ano yung mga pinamili niya sa akin. Yun.
Mm-mm.
Did Roger give the list or instead made another paper?
Yes, attorney. He did not give the list. He did not submitted the itemized list based on the agreement, attorney, but he instead filed a request for admission under Rule 26.
Oh, bright po siya. Bakit ko siya bigyan ng list? Ipa-admit ko na lang. Bumili ka ba ng sin? Bumili ka ba ng 2x2? Di ba? You're asking him to admit na lang. And what are the two contents of the request for admission?
That on the specific dates, attorney, in Annexes A to 1, that the plaintiff delivered to and the defendant received the various items particularly described, the construction materials, attorney.
So meron siyang list. Hindi niya lang sinubmit as pre-trial guide. Ang ginawa niya is, meron akong listahan, ganito na lang, Miss Luz. Do you admit na binili mo to? At do you admit na natanggap mo to? Second,
that the total of 314,000 attorney that she had paid only 130,000 lang attorney, representing the value of the goods described.
So, di ba, magaling yung lawyer ni Roger. Kasi tanong niya lang, do you admit na binili mo to lahat sa akin at natanggap mo to? And number two, do you admit na 130 lang na bayaran mo? Okay. Now, sumagot ba si Luz under oath?
No attorney, she did not answer the request under oath within 15 days.
So, ang ginawa ng Regional Trial Court, these were deemed what?
Admitted attorney.
Admitted. Sabi ng RTC, admitted, and therefore panalo si Roger. But of course, sabi ng Court of Appeals, wag. Hindi. Kasi hindi umagri ang Court of Appeals sa nangyari. Now, question. What is the legal consequence when a request for admission is not under oath in this case?
It is already, there's an implied admission attorney. It is already deemed admitted unless Luz here filed an answer denying it within 15 days.
And in this
So-
case,
She did not do it, attorney. She only provided the list, attorney, after the lapse of 15 days.
so therefore, she deemed to have admitted na meron pa siyang remaining balance.
Balance.
So tapos, yun lang, no? Magaling yung lawyer ni Roger dito. So that you see, that's the beauty of Rule 26. Because sometimes, may mga panahon class na baka pwede natin mapanalo to kahit wala pang trial. 'Di ba? So, yun, na-admit niya, tapos yung kaso, okay? But umabot lang sa Supreme Court. Anyway, thank you, Miss Clara.
Claros, attorney. Thank you.
Okay. Now, Section 3, what is the effect if you admit any admission made by a party pursuant to the request shall be only for the pending action, not for other cases, ha? Sa Rule 23, pwede mo gamitin yung deposition in other cases as long as it is the same subject matter. Pero Rule 26, exclusive lang. What is admitted for this case is only admitted for this case. Under Rule 26, hindi pwede sa ibang kaso. Kuha? Unlike sa deposition, pwede mo gamitin sa iba't ibang kaso, basta same subject matter and same parties. Withdrawal? You can withdraw your amend or withdraw your admission if the court will allow. And Section 5, what is the effect if hindi ka nag-serve ng request for admission? Unless otherwise allowed by the court for good cause shown and to prevent a failure of justice, a party who fails to file and serve a request for admission on the adverse party of material and relevant facts at issue which are ought to be within the personal knowledge shall not be permitted to present evidence on such facts. For short class, if you did not ask for admission, then you cannot present evidence on matters na dapat alam ng adverse party. Now, attorney, how does that apply in litigation? During trial kasi class, if you will be presenting the opponent, then you are asking matters na dapat alam niya, then you should have asked it in the Rule 26. No? You cannot later on present evidence to say na alam niya to, pinirmahan niya to, dapat gitry mo muna tanong during a request for admission. But anyway, at the end of the day, it's the judge's decision if ipapaalaw niya magsagot or hindi because unless there is good cause na kailangan niyang sagutin. Okay? 2016 bar, please read, Mr. Pondok. Let's see if masagot niya.
Letter A, briefly explain the procedure on interrogatories to parties under Rule 25 and state the effect of failure to serve written interrogatories.
Letter
And
B.
letter B, briefly explain the procedure on admission by adverse party under Rule 26 and the effect of failure to file and serve the request.
Thank you. Oh, funny kayo because many teachers in civil procedure skip the modes of discovery. So, yung lumabas sa bar, yung pikat, nakuratan sila kagindi pangutana. So, even the case of Sergio was just discussed. So, please do not skip this. Okay? And madali lang yung question because it's just caudal, di ba? What is the procedure? You serve written interrogatories, you answer within 15 days, and if you do not give a written interrogatory, you cannot call as witness your adverse party, right? Now, Rule 26, what is the procedure? After issues have been joined, you serve a request for admission, and they have to answer in a sworn statement within 15 days, and if they do not, there's an implied admission and failure to serve. Your request for admission means that you cannot present evidence, matters which are within personal knowledge of the adverse party. Back 5%. Next. Okay? So sayang siya kung basic concepts lang hindi ko pa masagot. Okay? But I believe that there is a new case that I added, correct? Meron ba? Sa syllabus? Muna. Okay, wala na ako nabutang sa PowerPoint. Wala mo nag-check sa syllabus. Okay, so if I am not mistaken, we have the case of People versus Laila Ang. Please check the syllabus if I added it so that you can take note of what it is. Miss Kyla, is it in the latest syllabus? Please check.
Wait, attorney. Check. Attorney, wala po.
Please take note of this case. People versus Leila L. Ang. GR number 231854, October 6, 2020. This is very important because this is on bank by Justice Caranda. Okay, Caranda. Ano may blurred siya? Okay, so let's look at what happened in this case. In this case, there were criminal charges. Sorry, nakakita this. Criminal charges were filed against Leila Ang and others. Okay? So, sino ba ito sila? Leila Ang, Rosalinda, they are officers of DBP. DBP is Development Bank of the Philippines. No, that is one of the government banks in Lucena City. So what happened there? According to the accusation, they allegedly acted in conspiracy with JEA Construction, Cocoland Concrete, and Unico Arte for defrauding and swindling 4.8 million pesos. How? By crediting cash deposit to these companies without actually depositing cash. No, so ibig sabihin, nag-manipulate sila kwarta. Pinasudlan nila kwarta ang mga accounts ani ng mga contractors without actual deposit of money sa ilang bangko, which was discovered during a special audit by the DBP. So, gifailan sila ng kaso sa ombudsman. So, the ombudsman filed separate cases and was referred to the office of the city prosecutor of Lucena. Okay, Lucena. Attorney, bakit hindi sa Sandigan Bayan? Because you will know later on in your criminal procedure na mga salary grade 27 pataas lang ang usually gina-charge sa Sandigan Bayan. You will know that later on. So yung kaso sa prosecutor lang nila final. Now take note, this is interesting because in the fiscal level, Laila Ang filed a formal request for admission. Tingnan nyo ha, sa prosecutor siya nag-file ng request for admission. And it was received by the prosecutor. The prosecutor the OCP sought to expunge the request for admission. The request for admission stating that these are matters of evidence that must be presented during trial. Diba? Because elements ito ng crime. Hindi man ito utang-utang na pwede mo lang ipapa-admit sa request for admission. Now, in the RTC level, according to the RTC, since there was failure to answer the request for admission, to answer the request for admission within 15 days, they are deemed admitted by the people of the Philippines. No? So, in-apply ng RTC ang Rule 26 Section 2. Now, sabi ng fiscal, according to the motion of the fiscal of the prosecutor, di ba judge, Rule 26 Section 1 must be served. Kasi sino nga? Sa lawyer ba? Di ba directly to the party? Meaning the people of the Philippines. Right po the fiscal, no? So, i-serve din mo sa amoa, isa-isa. And the plaintiff in this case is the prosecutor of the people of the Philippines. Now, what happened? The RTC ruled that the judicial admissions cannot be contradicted by evidence because these are considered judicial admissions. So, inakyat nila yung kaso sa Sandigan Bayan. Where is it? Inadmit nila yung kaso sa Sandigan, inakyat nila yung kaso sa Sandigan Bayan. And the Sandigan Bayan denied for lack of discretion. So, here's the thing. The issue really, class, is, can we apply Rule 26 on criminal cases? Kasi Rule 23 and Rule 24, we discussed that already in the case of Mary Jane Veloso. So this is another en banc ruling, which my nails are saying maglabas sa bar. Okay? So, can we apply Rule 26 in criminal cases? So, the Supreme Court discussed to us the applicability of the modes of discovery in criminal proceedings. The rules regarding modes of discovery, along with the effects of non-compliance therewith, are governed by Rules 23 to 29 of the Civil Procedure, while discovery procedures contained in these provisions have been primarily applied to civil proceedings in order to facilitate the speedy resolution of cases, there is no specific and express provision in the rules regarding their applicability in criminal proceedings. Notwithstanding such observation, there have been past members of the court who opined that some discovery procedures may be applied in criminal cases. Rule 24 was applied in the case of People versus Hubert Webb. And as recently, if you remember, in the case of Mary Jane Veloso, they also applied Rule 23 on deposition to allow Mary Jane Veloso to testify, even if it's a criminal case, by applying deposition by written interrogatories, but only for compelling reasons. So the question in the present case is really something new, because can we apply Rule 26 in criminal cases? So what did the Supreme Court say? Sorry, hindi siya copy-paste. Isa-isahin natin. Okay. Ciao. Okay. A request for admission cannot be served on the prosecution because it is answerable only by an adverse party. So in criminal actions, the only parties are the state and the accused, right? Because why? The victim in a criminal case is only a witness, if you remember. So at this juncture, medyo gamay, no? Ako ang padakpan gamay. Let's increase the frontage. Okay. At this juncture, it is imperative to emphasize that the state is the real party in interest in criminal proceedings. The private offended party is merely regarded as a witness for the state. It means that the state, being a juridical entity, unlike the offended party, cannot be privy to the execution of any document or acquire personal knowledge of past factual events. Unlike natural persons, the state cannot be able to perceive as well as making known the perception. And of course, the state is not a human being. It does not have technically personal knowledge, di ba? So such lack of sensory perception is an inherent inability of the part of the state to make any admission. So sa tinamban pang pagstorya, unsaon pag-admit kung ang state dili siya tao? How can we say that the state has personal knowledge when it is not a natural person, correct? Let's break it down. Request for admission is served directly to the party, correct? But in a criminal case, is the victim part of the parties? No. If it's already in the court, is it victim versus the accused? No. It's people of the Philippines versus the accused. The people of the Philippines is the state. And therefore, can the state be an entity that has a personal, literal personal knowledge? Can it see? Can it taste? Can it touch something? No. So therefore, can we ask the state to admit something? No. So that is the principle behind that. So furthermore, okay. What did I do? Okay. The prosecution is strictly bound to observe the parameters laid out in the Constitution on the right of the accused, one of which is the right against self-incrimination. So if we are going to apply Rule 26, we would be also violating the rule on self-incrimination. So kung sabihin mo, oy, request for admission accused, pinatay mo ba si X? So kung di niya tumago ng request for admission, deemed admitted na pinatay niya si X. Diba, isn't that violative of the constitutional presumption of innocence? So, nakita ninyo, Rule 26 cannot be applied in criminal cases because of the rule on self-incrimination. Because failure to answer under Rule 26 is deemed admitted, right? May utang ka kay Miss Paghumbasan. Admit or deny. Kung hindi ka sumagot, it's deemed admitted sa Rule 26. Pero kung criminal case, Miss Lumaan, ikaw ba yung pumatay kay X? Kasi hindi ka sumagot sa request for admission, admitted, kulong ka na yun. That is entirely antithetical to the concept of proof beyond reasonable doubt. You can just win a case against a criminal case by merely applying Rule 26. No. Sabi ng Supreme Court, we cannot apply. The nature of a criminal case present inherent limitation to using Rule 26. Okay? Okay lang sa civil case, kaya utang, it's not necessarily the liberty or imprisonment, no? Like the Ducklings case, admit ka na nakabayad sa mga itlog sapato, pero you cannot apply it in the same level na siya ang nakarate kaya hindi siya nakasagot ng request for admission. Siya ang nakapatay kaya hindi siya nakasagot ng request for admission. No, take note of that. So, if requests for admissions should be made applicable to criminal proceedings, then it is virtually certain that an accused who had already entered a plea of not guilty would continue to deny kasi nagsabi na siya ng not guilty. Eh bakit mo siya ipapa-admit via Rule 26? So therefore, if there are matters that you do not agree with, then you just present it during trial. No, you can just vent it out during the pre-trial kung ano yung mga issues nyo. Kuha ba? So if you have time, which you should, kasi first year pa mo, take note now that this case clearly indicates that Rule 26 cannot apply in criminal cases. Rule 23, yes. Rule 24, Rule 23, yes, in compelling cases. Rule 24 also. Rule 25, wala pang ruling. Rule 26, no. Okay, klaro yan. So let's move on now to Rule 27. Production and inspection of things. Ito yung maganda, no? Production and inspection of things. Let me go back to the PowerPoint. But let's have a 5-minute break. Ako sang i-microwave akong kape kinamugnaw na. Okay, kadali lang. Let's have a break. Okay, bangon. Asa si Miss Domingo? Are you there? Are you alive?
Yes, attorney.
Human naman mo no sa inyong ubang subject, so you can inject me into your other schedules. Puhon, may lawas.
Ano, attorney? Classes after next week. Classes from Thursday to Friday, attorney.
Sino bang present pa here? Can you on your camera? Mag-screenshot lang ko. Okay, nangita akong boss ng asa ko. Smile! Weird, no? Middle of the class ko ma-picture. Wait lang. Wait lang pa sa... Saan pagpadaghan? Ulit, sorry. 3, 2, 1, smile! Okay, so let's continue. Okay, i-shift ko lang. Segue lang konti, no? Meron daw pickleball whatever ang GMC? Anong ganap na yun? Oo. Nag-practice ng pickleball ang inyong dean. O, dean, nagklase ko. Good luck. Good luck sa inyo, ha? Okay, so let me just share the screen. Share. Okay, Nana, is it there? So that we can continue. Okay, so let's continue with production and inspection of things. So, simply class, it is just really a motion na may gusto kang ipaproduce or may gusto kang i-inspect. It's similar to a subpoena duces tecum, but not in the same, not identical. Okay, so let's read what it says. Motion for production or inspection. Upon motion of any party, dito sa requisites, motion of any party showing good cause, serving notice, designated in the pleadings describing any matter not privileged, but the evidence is material to the action and is within the possession, custody, or control of another party, pwede nyo ipa-rule 27. Okay? So, take note, order any party. Ito, order what? The production or inspection, copying, picture, no? Documents, papers, books, accounts, letters, photographs, objects, tangible things, as long as they are not privileged, or hindi lang limitado sa mga bagay, libro at mga papeles. It also includes allowing any party to permit entry upon a designated land or property in the possession of the control of the party for the purpose of inspection, measuring, surveying, or photographing the property. This is very important kasi kung ang issue is, di ba, if issue is nang himasok ba ang imuhang mangga sa ako ang balay, sa akong yuta, what's the best way to see? If nasulod ba yun ang iyahang mangga sa imuhang yuta, go to the place and conduct what they call this, an ocular inspection. In fact, merong mangyari na ocular inspection in May in one of the big cases that we have. The judge, I don't know if the judge herself will go to the Davao City para tignan talaga kung ang mga properties na ito or no, they want to see as long as it is relevant to the case. So there are two things that could happen: production or entry to designated land. But take note, as long as it is what? Not privilege. Then remember the case of Air Philippines versus Penswell. So, pwede ba ipa-Rule 27 ang mga matters na relevant? Pwede, as long as hindi siya privilege. Okay, let me discuss the case of Air Philippines versus Penswell. Okay, am I back? Am I back? Nawala akong nagkadali. Okay, so let's discuss the case of Air Philippines versus Penswell. Sa tinambang pang storya, airplanes are very sensitive machines, di ba? And like cars, you must have your brake oil, engine oil, whatever oil you have, so that the gears, whatever, diba? Same for airplanes. Now, in this case, according to Penswell, this is an intellectual property case because allegedly, ang lubricant para sa airplane, lubricant for the airplane is ginaya daw nila yung formulation ng isang party. That's why nag-file ng patent infringement case because allegedly ginaya daw yung formulation ng airplane lubricant. So, sabi ng kalaban, why not settle this? Please produce under Rule 27, please produce the ingredients of your lubricant so that we can see if it is really same as ours. Ayun. So, gipa Rule 27, motion to compel the production of the list of ingredients. The Supreme Court said no, hindi pwede. Why? Because the list of ingredients of a lubricant which is very important to a company is considered privileged. It is considered a trade secret. It's like you're asking Coca-Cola to answer the formula of their Coke, right? It's you're asking KFC the special, 11 spices na ginagamit nila sa kanilang chicken. So sabi ng Supreme Court, Rule 27 cannot be applied in this case because the formulation of a product is considered a what? Privileged matter. So therefore, hindi siya pwede Rule 27. Now, let's go now to the case of Insigne versus Abra Valley. Meron bang assigned?
Yes po, Attorney Lumaan po. Good evening po.
Miss Lumaan, basically what was sino ang founder ng Abra Valley College?
The founder attorney was Pedro. Pedro po, attorney. Pedro Borgonia, attorney. Borgonia.
And then
The petitioners here, attorney, are the siblings of full blood. They are while the respondent Francis Borgonia is the older half blood brother, attorney. He was the son of his first marriage, attorney, first wife.
okay, and what was the complaint filed against Abra Valley?
There were attorney that the petitioners were stockholders po, attorney, of the Abra Valley College. And then they file po complaint with application for preliminary injunction and damages in RTC against Abra Valley po, attorney.
What was the complaint for?
They want to inspect, attorney, the corporate books and records and the minutes of meetings, and they want to be provided a financial statement, attorney, of the Abra Valley, attorney.
Okay. Question. Ang nag-file nito ay ang mga anak ni Pedro, correct?
Yes po, attorney.
And Pedro was already dead, malamang, at this time.
Yes po, attorney. Dead na po, attorney.
So, they are asking yung mga anak, pwede ba namin malaman saan napunta yung shares ng aming papa? So, can we inspect the records? So, what did the children file to inspect the records? In the meantime, na wala pang ongoing pa yung kaso.
They, attorney, complaint with application for preliminary
Yes, we know that. But what was the motion that was filed?
motion, wait lang, attorney. Motion. They filed, attorney, wait lang.
A motion to
Motion to inspect, attorney.
they filed a motion for production and inspection under
Yes,
Rule 27.
27.
What did they want to inspect?
They want to inspect, attorney, they want to inspect po the STB, attorney. That is the stock. They want to wait lang, attorney. Wala ko.
Stock and transfer book.
Yes po. Stock and transfer book, attorney.
Plus a stock and transfer book under corporate law. Nandyan naka-record lahat sino ang bumili, kay sino napunta, kay sino nabigay, yung mga shares of stock ng kumpanya. And that is important because para sa mga anak, yung papabaya nila ang majority stockholder. So they want to know saan napunta yung shares ni daddy or nandyan pa ba yung shares ng kanilang daddy. Question, can Rule 27 be applied in this case?
Yes po, attorney. Here, attorney, the court ruled that it should be applied liberally po, attorney.
And what is the effect if ayaw ipakita ng Abra Valley ang stock and transfer book despite Rule 27?
It is a disputable presumption, attorney, that the evidence willfully suppressed would be adverse if produced, attorney, and it could arise against them po.
So ganun yan, class. Yan ang maganda sa Rule 27 because why are you trying to evade? Simple lang naman ang hingi namin. Patingin ng logbook. Diba? So, daghan kay explanation of Abra Valley, oh no, you cannot inspect the book, etc., etc. What is the effect if you're willfully hiding evidence? The rule is evidence willfully suppressed would be adverse if produced. That is a rule under Rule 131. Okay? So, mura lang ka ng pakita ako sa imuhang messenger, be. Ayaw, tanaw akong messenger. Oy, ayaw na, Abri. Dili man ta ka. Uyab, di man ta ka. Kinsa man ka. So the presumption will apply. Evidence willfully suppressed would be adverse if produced. Baka may tinatago kayo sa stock and transfer book. Bakit ayaw nyo ipa-inspect under Rule 27? So maganda din yun kasi parang ma-corner mo yung kalaban mo, no? Under Rule 27. Thank you, Miss Lumaan.
Attorney.
Now take note, class, Rule 27 is a recognized mode of fishing expedition. No? Because literally, since yung papeles, yung lupa, yung libro, yung cellphone, yung whatever, nasa kamay ng kalaban and we want to know what it is, you can apply for Rule 27. Kasi kung ang issue is give, sino bang taga-bukid dito? Di ba yung mohon, boundary marker, ginabalhin-balhin na nila dito sa bukid para musulod dari ang balay, musulod dari ang mangga o whatever. Pero class, di ba yung survey ng geodetic engineer, that cannot be easily altered. So kahit ilipat-lipat mo pa yung muhon dyan, pero pagpunta ng geodetic engineer doon, nasabi niya, oy, gibalhin yun ang muhon, tapos ang issue. So therefore, you can apply Rule 27 not only to inspect the book, inspect the records, but also to conduct an ocular inspection to resolve the case. And that is a recognized mode of fishing expedition. As discussed in the case of Solid Bank versus Gateway Electronics, nakalagay dyan, it's enough. No, it is a recognized mode of fishing expedition, but you cannot inspect anything under the sun. Rule 27 requires a particularity. No, are you taking Consti 2 right now? Are you done with Consti 2? Not yet. But you know that in search warrants, you're not allowed to have a scattershot warrant, right? You cannot say everything that search the house of Miss Lumaan for all kinds of papers. Diba hindi pwede? That should be particular. Same sa Rule 27. Though it is a fishing expedition allowed by Rule 27, not everything. There should be a particularity. So in the case of Solid Bank, what happened here was, ang request ng Solid Bank is ganito. We request inspection for all documents relating to back-end services agreement. Denied by the Supreme Court because asking all documents pertaining to all back-end services agreement is too general. It's too broad and it cannot be justified under Rule 27. Okay, so kung magpa-inspect kayo ng libro, ng lugar, hindi pwede anything, hindi pwede super broad, it should be particular. A blanket inspection under Rule 27 is prohibited in the case of Solid Bank versus Gateway Electronics. Attorney, bakit parang similar siya sa subpoena duces tecum, which lumabas sa inyong exam ba yun? No? This is similar to the question. Pangkusiun mo, dahil ito. Okay? Diba? Parang similar, attorney, because when you say subpoena duces tecum, you're asking the witness to bring something and open it and allow inspection. Rule 27, you're also asking something to be inspected. So how are they different? Okay. Number one, Rule 27 is a mode of discovery. So you can ask it even if wala pang witness na i-present. Kuha. But Rule 21 is literally calling a witness to attend and bring it. Kuha ba? Now, subpoena is a process to compel evidence production to a witness, while Rule 27 is a mode of discovery that is not necessarily tied to presentation of a witness yet. No? Now, Rule 27 is only against who? Tanaw na to Rule 27? Sino lang? Party. But Rule 21, it can be to a witness or a party who is a witness. Rule 27 requires a motion, while Rule 21, the court may issue it on its own because it's a subpoena. Okay? Scope, the coverage of Rule 27 is as long as it is not privilege and it is what? Relevant or material to the case. But subpoena, it's limited to things. Can you subpoena a land? No. Hindi man pwede dalhin ang lupa sa court, no? So it's not applicable for a subpoena. Now let's go to Rule 28. No, Rule 28 is the physical and mental examination of persons. Now, let's review ha. Rule 23 and 24 are depositions. Rule 25 is interrogatories. Rule 26 is admission. Rule 27 is production or inspection of things or ocular inspection. But Rule 28 is very different because you're not asking for a statement. You're not asking for a thing or paper. You're not asking for an ocular of a land. You're asking for medical or mental examination. Okay, interesting ito. So, Attorney, nag-file ng action for annulment of contract. Why? Because attorney, at the time daw na ginawa yung contract, the party was not of sound mind. Oh. Mr. Orozco, asa na mo sa oblikon?
Tapos na po kami, attorney.
Sana all, no? Mas bukat ko na kung subject ay ako ang 3 units. Anyway, if the contract was allegedly entered by someone who is alleged to be of unsound mind, what is the status of the contract? Tapos na, di ba? So, dapat alam mo.
Wait, attorney.
Wait, sige. Wait lang. May apat ka lang options, di ba? Valid,
It should be voidable, attorney.
voidable. Is it valid though?
It is valid until annulled, attorney.
Okay, that's why nag-file ng petition for, a complaint for annulment of a voidable contract. Because allegedly, at the time na pinirmahan ni Mayaman yung contract, meron siyang, let's say, schizophrenia. How do you prove that in court? Oh, you have mental evidence. You have psychological something. Eh, what if ikaw, wala, ayaw to, binayaran mo ng psychology sa PICAS? What do you do? Oh, you can try to exploit Rule 28. Because, if you want to, di ba, nullification of, psychological incapacity of the wife or husband sa Article 36, di ba? Even though dili required ang psychologic examination, pero malaki ang effect pag merong psychiatric evaluation sa Article 36 ng Family Code. So, what if sa tingin mo hindi credible or sa tingin mo kailangan kunan ng psychiatric examination? Rule 28 can help you out. Okay? Ano pa? Before tayo mag-discuss ng Rule 28, ano pang mga mental or physical concerns ang magamit sa civil law? No? Mr. Orozco, kasi naka-yellow ka nakikita kita. Mr. Orozco, what physical, not mental, what physical defect, sorry for the term, physical defect can be used to annul a marriage? Diba? Void kasi ang Article 36. I'm asking for annul. Ibig sabihin, voidable.
Yung pag may STD, attorney.
Incurable STD at the time of the
Yes, attorney.
celebration. Pwede din yun, no? Physical examination natin. Ano pa?
Physical incapacity, attorney, that a spouse incapable of engaging in sexual intercourse, attorney.
What do you mean by that? Kasi di ba sa Chiming Choi, article yun kasi ayaw niya. It's not because hindi niya kaya.
Yes,
So,
attorney.
for it to be Article 45 sa Family Code, what do you understand? Kung lalaki, when is it annulment? Diba? You're saying incapable to whatever. Oh, so when is that when is that present sa lalaki?
If they yes, attorney, if they are impotent,
Yani, what do you understand by impotent?
they cannot engage in sexual intercourse, attorney. Like
Ganit. How is that? How is that? Because that is an issue in persons, di ba? Is it the same as baog?
yes, attorney.
No, di ba? It's not. It's
So,
whether or not the penis can be erect or it can penetrate a vagina. Diba?
Yes, attorney.
Wow, ako pang tamo. Kamu pa yung mag-take ubang example ko si unta mo. So that these are matters that are so critical in civil cases. So akala nyo sa criminal cases lang yung mga forensic, pwede din dito. And when it is the very issue in the case, we can exploit Rule 28. So let's go to Section 1. In an action where the mental or physical condition is in controversy. O yun. When the physical or mental condition of a party is in controversy, the court in which the action is pending may, in its discretion, order the physical or mental examination by a physician. And the order for examination may be made only on motion for good cause shown and upon notice to the party to be examined and to all other parties, and shall specify the time, place, manner, conditions kung saan mangyari yung physical or mental exam. So what are the requisites so that you can avail of Rule 28? Number 1, the physical or mental condition of a party is in controversy. So, impotence, ano pa? Psychological incapacity, incurable STD, or yung unsound mind sa contracts, di ba? Or unsound mind sa wills. O. Number 2, dapat may motion ka showing good cause. Why are you asking for the mental examination? Explain why. Number 3, notice. Number 4, saan mangyari? Place, conditions. And number 5, sino ang mag-e-examine? Si Dr. what? Si Psychiatrist what? Specify. Now, let's go to section 3. This is interesting. Imagine if in a case for contract annulment, sa tingin mo, voidable yung contract kasi may schizophrenia yung kalaban. Gusto mong ipa-examine. Sabi ng court, go. Allow ang examination. Let's say, na-evaluate na ni psychiatrist ang mental state ng ating defendant. Can you ask for the result? Kasi that is why we have that person examined, di ba? Para maraman natin yung result. This is the careful part. There are consequences if hihingi ka ng result. Okay? If requested by the party who was examined, the party causing the examination shall deliver a copy of the written report of the examining physician setting out the findings and conclusion. After such request and delivery, the party causing the examination shall be entitled upon request from the party examined a like report on any examination previously or thereafter made of the same mental or physical condition. If the party examined refuses to deliver the report, the court can make an order to require delivery. And if a physician fails, the court may exclude his testimony. Very long, but very important. Sige. Just for this case, please don't be offended, Miss Lumaan. Let's say, pumirma ka ng kontrata and sa tingin ko, nung pumirma ka ng kontrata, meron kang unsound mind. Okay? Now, gusto mong ipaglaban yung kontrata kasi ang nakalagay sa contract is bibigyan kita ng 10 million. Diba? You want to fight for it. But sa tingin ko, pinirmahan mo lang yun kasi you had mental incapacity at that time. So, I ask you to be examined. Question, if natapos ka na examine, can you request a copy of your own examination? The answer is yes. You can ask a copy, but what is the consequence if hihingi ka ng copy ng examining? Kuratan ko sa may pakita na katapa ni Domingo. Okay, what is the consequence if hihingi ka ng copy nung Rule 27 examination? Consequence, if hihingi si Ms. Lumaan ng result ng Rule 27 examination, then I, the one requesting the Rule 27, is also entitled to know everything about your other examinations on the same mental issue before and after. Okay? So, kung nagpa-examine ka ulit after kita pina-examine, kasi sa tingin mo, ayaw dito magpa-examine pag kuusap kay kabalo ko na ang result ato yung Rule 27 kay na ako'y craziness. Magpa-examine ko usab, pero dito ko sa akong psychologist na friend kay paranormal ko. Oh. So, if you ask a copy of my result, of the result of the Rule 27, I am also entitled to ask a result of your examination on the same issue before and after. Kuha ba? And if ayaw mong bumigay, Kahit mag-present ka ng doktor mo, Miss Lumaan, I can exclude your doctor to testify. Ganon ka importante ang Rule 28. Why? Because there is this reality class. Let's not lie among ourselves. Meron ding mga doctors na pwede bayaran. No? Bigyan mo na 1 million, kakantayan ng magandang testimony na crazy yon para walang kasal mangyari. Diba? So, ipa-Rule 27 mo sa ibang doktor para mapugos siya o pakita sa imuha sa iyang mga other results. No? Now, attorney, is that not a violation of the patient and doctor privilege? That's the beauty of Rule 28 because that is a waiver of the privilege. Because if Ms. Dumaan requests that bubuksan natin yung resulta ng Rule 27, you are also opening your other medical records for examination. So by requesting and obtaining a report of the Rule 27 examination, by taking the deposition of the doctor, you waive your privilege as to other privilege that we have in this case regarding the testimony of all other person who has examined you or will examine you thereafter. So, ganun kaganda ang effect ng Rule 28, no? Kasi mabuksan niya yung exception ng patient and doctor privilege. Okay? So, according to yeah. Okay. According to the case of Chan versus Chan, 179-786, July 24, 2014, according to Justice Leonen, in his concurring opinion, he said that discovery procedures provide a balance between the need of the plaintiff to establish the case and the communication made between a patient and his doctor. Hence, physician-patient privilege does not cover the information discovered under Rule 28. So, kung nakuha yung medical result under Rule 28, hindi siya covered ng privilege. This procedure is availed with the intention of making the results public during trial. So kung hihingiin mo yung copy, Ms. Lumaan, you're opening your other medical records for examination. So maganda siya na maganda siya na discovery procedure because you're putting the kalaban in the corner. So ibig sabihin, hindi siya pwede mangatik sa iyang medical condition. Okay, meron ka palang result na normal ka. But Your Honor, I'm requesting the truth in this case. So let's examine Ms. Lumaan via Rule 28. Yun. So, malalaman talaga kung kung namaleta ba yung psychologist mo. Okay? Oh. Because I will tell you, I know, meron kayong mga doctor friend na issuehan kayo ng med-cert. No, tagay kong medical certificate B, di pa ako ready sa exam, no, mga ganun na bagay-bagay. So, I don't trust your doctor. Let us have you examined by another doctor. O, di tapos yung kaso mo kung liar ka, di ba? That's why it's called modes of discovery. Let's discover if it's really true or not, no? Now, let's go now to Rule 29. Rule 29 is long, but it is just simple. Ano yung consequences if hindi ka sumunod sa mga modes of discovery? The provisions are long, but we can just simplify what happens here. Okay. Now, Section 1. If you refuse to answer during a deposition, okay, let's go to it. If a party or deponent refuses to answer during a deposition under Rule 23, pwede ipatuloy ang other questions, but the one who applied for deposition may apply to the court where the deposition is happening for an order to compel an answer. So kung nagpa-deposition ka, let's say dito sa Manila, nga naa sa Davao ang kaso, nga di mo tubag sa deposition, you can file a application for the court to compel the answer in a deposition. If granted, pugson siya motubag, the question or interrogatory, and if the refusal to answer is without justification, then pwede siya pabayarin ng expenses, including attorney's fees. Pero kung denied, of course, hindi siya pwede pugson mo tubag. Okay? Section 2. Aside from your refusal to answer in a deposition, you can also be cited in contempt. So di ba pag deposition, it happens somewhere else before a deposition officer. If dili siya motubag, mag-apply ka for order to compel an answer. Pero kung na may order to compel an answer, di gyapon motubag, aside from the fines, under section 1, pwede din siya ipa-contempt. What kind of contempt? Indirect contempt. Bakit indirect? Kasi wala man sila sa loob ng court. Kuha? Okay. Other consequences? Is there a summary here? Wala. Other consequences. Let's go to the other consequences. Okay. If any party or an officer or managing agent refuses to obey an order to answer questions, ayan. So ano yun? Refusal to answer Rule 23, 24, or refusal to comply with Rule 27, no? Sabi, dalhin mo, ayaw mong dalhin. Or, you are requested to submit to medical examination, pero ayaw mo. Ano nangyayari? Wait lang, sorry. Okay, so if you do not comply with the questions, you do not answer, or hindi mo sundin yung production under Rule 27, or ayaw mo magpa-submit for medical examination, what can happen to you? The court may order you to an order that the matters regarding the questions that were asked, the description, the medical condition, no, shall be deemed established. So kung ayaw mo sagutin, it is deemed as it is established. So kung hindi ka sumagot, yung tanong, yun yung magiging sagot. No? So, letter B, an order refusing to allow the disobedient party to support or oppose claims or defenses, prohibiting him or her from introducing evidence in the designated documents or items of testimony, or from introducing evidence of physical or mental condition. So class of hindi ka sumagot or hindi mo i-produce, pwede magsabi yung judge na bawal ka din magawa ng evidence mo dyan, or bawal ka din mag-provide ng evidence sa medical condition mo kung ikaw mismo ayaw mo magpa-examine. Okay? The court can also do that. Or it can also decide to strike out pleadings, no? Or suspend the case until sundin mo yung requirement na sumagot, or even dismissing the case, or even declare you in the judgment by default, no? If hindi ka sumunod. So the court can also choose this one as more serious punishment if hindi ka mag-comply under Rules 23, 24, and 27, and 28. And, ano pa? Pwede ka ipa-aresto, no? The court can even order your arrest of any party who disobey deposition, and disobey inspection, pero not Rule 28. Okay? Hindi ka pwede mag-aresto sa isang tao na ayaw magpa-examine. But pwede ka ipa-aresto under 23, 24, and 27. So these are choices ng judge. Okay? So, sundin mo na lang para ayaw mong mag-suffer ng mga ganyan. And, sino ang maggastos if napugos o produce of evidence because ayaw mong samagot, no? If the party after being served with ito, Rule 26. Pag Rule 26, tinanong ka, do you admit that the affidavit of loss is genuine? Pero sumagot ka, in your sworn statement, sabi mo, denied. It is not genuine because I don't use blue ball pen. So since gideny mo, I have to prove this, right? I have to prove na genuine yung affidavit of loss. So, naggastos ako ng NBI expert para mag-examine ng pirma mo. Naggastos ako ng pera para magkuha ng certified true copy galing sa notary public para i-prove talaga na totoo yung pirma mo. And nanggastos din ako para yung notary public mismo pumunta sa court para magsabi na nakita ka niya magpirma kahit blue ballpen gamit mo. So what if it is proven that it is really true and you denied my Rule 26 admission? Ano mangyari? If a party after being served a request denies it, but later on I was able to prove that it's genuine, pay me all that I spent to prove that your denial was wrong. So kung umadmit ka sa Rule 26, wala ka sanang babayaran. But since nag-deny ka, I have to prove it, right? And since I was able to prove it, you have to pay me all the expenses that I did. Kasi sabi mo, denied, pero nag-lie ka pala. Diba? So there are also consequences if you denied a request for admission but he was later on able to prove, you have to pay the expenses na ginagawa niya to prove that your denial was wrong or was deliberately misled. Okay? Ito. What if during a Rule 25, ayan, no? Hindi ka nag-serve ng answer, pwede ipa-strike out ang pleading mo, pwede ipa-dismiss, pwede ipa-judgment on default, and pwede ka pabayarin ng expenses. No choice din yun ng judge. So, 23, 24, 27, and 28, some portion of that. 26 dito, and 25. And, however, kung ang Republic of the Philippines ang may kasalanan, hindi daw pabayarin ng fees and expenses. Why? Kasi pera man natin yan. Bakit mo pabayarin yung taong bayan sa kasalanan ng lawyers ng Republic of the Philippines? Okay? So that ends our discussion tonight. Next meeting, we will start with trial. The coverage next meeting is 30 to 34. Pa-check now.
$30 to $35, attorney.
30 to 35. Okay, so please study this well kasi marami ding nagalabas sa bar exam nito. Okay, thank you so much and see you when I see you next Wednesday. Yes, correct?
Attorney, my question po.
Question. Sige.
Ano daw po ang coverage for finals?
23 to 29.
23. Okay.
Ay, 23 to 30.
Cover.
Sorry.
23 to 39, attorney.
Until the end.
Okay, attorney. Thank you.
Okay, any questions as to the content? If none, balikin lang ninyo play ang recording. Okay, so next meeting, 30 to 35. Please study it well. Especially 33, 34, 35. Okay, 30, 31, 32, of course, you have to study it. But 33, 34, and 35 are very important kasi 33, demurrer to evidence. Pwede ka magpa-dismiss ng kaso kahit wala ka pa nagpresenta ng evidence ng kalaban. 34, judgment on the pleadings. Pwede magkaroon ng judgment kahit nasa pleadings pa kayo. And Rule 35 is summary judgment where if nakita ng court na wala ng issue, pwede din magawa ng decision, no, ng judgment. Like what happened in Cherry Valley case. The summary judgment dito. Okay? So take note of those important rules. Thank you so much and have a happy weekend for what's left of it. Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Attorney.
Thank you, attorney.
Attorney.